Oh my goodness. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing the all-new Lincoln Corsair Grand Touring. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah for giving me some time with this Corsair. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below. You can check out this and the other cars they have for sale as well. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time I purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 2.5 liter four-cylinder paired to a CVT and a hybrid system. Total system output, 266 horsepower. Now, you've got 28 miles of electric driving range. Your MPGe number is 78 miles. Now, if you have no charge whatsoever, then you should still be able to average about 33 miles per gallon. Now let's go over the front end of the Corsair Grand Touring. So first off, you can see we have the signature body lines here on the hood. They come with every Corsair. And then coming down below, you've got the LED daytime running lights with the headlights, and then the turn signal indicator is just down below. And then we do have some fog light action here at the bottom. I love how it's kind of hidden there with that black trim piece that kind of continues all the way across the bottom. Now we have a signature grille here for the Grand Touring package. Notice how the Lincoln logo has some blue accenting on it to signify this is a hybrid, and then the actual grille design is completely different. So a really good example is we actually have a couple Lincoln Aviators here. So this is a traditional Aviator, and look at the grille design with that. And then this is an Aviator Grand Touring. So you can see that the Grand Touring package on any Lincoln has its own specific design. Coming on the side here, entire wheel setup is 225, 55, 19 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you can see the design here with the wheel, how it kind of like flows forward. That's just kind of Lincoln thing to do. But you got silver there on the top and it's kind of darker down below. Notice the fender flare is body painted, and then we have our Corsair logo right there. And then you can see the mirror cap, how that's blacked out. And then notice the pillars also blacked out. And then we have the silver trim there around the window. And then notice the darker trim down below. And then if we take a few steps back, you can see the full side profile here. So here is our key fob for the Corsair Grand Touring. We have our unlock function or lock function, remote start, and then the opening here for the hatch. Press that a couple times and it'll pop right open. And what you guys will notice here is, we got this little bag. I'm sure that this has a little charging cable in it. That's at least my guess. Yep, so you got your charging cable here in this Lincoln bag. And then you can see the spare tire just underneath. We have a 12 volt right there. And then you can see these buttons right here, lower down the seats. And overall, storage space is actually pretty decent when you're done. Just press this and boom, back in place. Now finishing things up with the rest of the rear, you can see with the spoiler here, nothing too crazy, but we do have some blacked out trim right there. So again, all the pillars on this are all blacked out. And then we have this light bar design. It's kind of like a Lincoln thing to do. And then down below you can see we've got parking sensors here at the bottom. And then we actually still have a dual outlet exhaust situation. So kind of has that sporty appearance. And there's the rear. Ooh, now before we pop in there, that's for the gas. And this is your charging port here at the front. So yeah, again, plug-in hybrid. But anyways, now we're gonna pop in here. Now going over the interior, I've noticed with the Grand Touring packages, they pretty much make the vehicles like fully loaded from an interior perspective. So you can see really nice leather trim here with the contrasted stitching. And then popping over to the seats, you can see same thing. Notice perforated all down the center. And then popping in, there's your legroom. Yeah, again, it's relatively spacious. We got a cargo net right there. Heated seats for the back. We got vents for the back. Got some charging ports as well. And we, of course, have the most important feature of all. We have the cup holder armrest situation. And, well, let's head to the front. Now here's a front door panel for the Corsair. Notice again with the stitching and then all of the leather trim. And I think a lot of the trim pieces just look really nice. So you've got your seat adjustments here on the door panel in normal Lincoln fashion. Memory seat function right there. And then you guys can see with the blind spot monitoring for the mirrors. And then we got all of our window controls down here, and then the mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in. Another Lincoln logo right there. And then here are the front seats. So again, really nice leather all around. And then here's a quick look at the pedal layout down below. And then you got your light control set up right there in a normal place, and that's just to open up the gas cap. And then for the hatch, and let's pop in. Here's the steering wheel for the Corsair. You got really nice leather trim all around, and then we got the stitching here on the center portion. And then notice we've got some controls here on the steering wheel for different functions. Like you can go up for the navigation, for example. You got that home screen button to take you back to the main menu. You can go to music as well. Like overall, again, really easy to use. And then you also have like the little pages button. That's actually for the center screen. We do have paddle shifters here on the back, and then like our volume controls over here. Now this blank area here on either side is for the cruise control. So when you turn on the cruise control, these will illuminate, and then if you turn off the cruise control, they'll turn off. So pretty cool steering wheel setup overall. And then we have a turn signal stock and then a windshield wiper stock, and there you go. So here's our center gauge cluster. It's a full digital gauge cluster, and it's got really important information, like we have 0 miles of charge, because yeah, that's just how it is sometimes. But other than that, there's that pages button that I can scroll through to see different bits of info on the vehicle. And I love how it like slowly loads up, because again, I guess that's like the luxurious thing to do rather than popping up. Wow, 64.4 miles per gallon. So yeah, that's impressive. Now here is the center infotainment screen. So first off, we pop it into reverse. We've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And then we also have that zoom function as well with the camera. So overall, really good system. Now as for the rest of the screen, first off, response time is really good with the screen. Pretty easy to use. Oh, we got ambient lighting. We are going to pick lighter blue. Well, actually, no, the darker blue is actually the color that goes with the Ford hybrid, so that makes more sense. Do we have massaging seats? Yes, we do. We got to turn those on. That's very important. And other than that, though, I mean, it's got Apple CarPlay, and yeah. Now down below, we've got some controls for like your parking assist. This is a shortcut button for some of the safety systems, like your auto hold and traction control. And then for the camera, you can just pop that on if you want. And then we do have the little buttons here for the transmission select system. And then we got analog controls here for the radio. I love the fit and finish on all of it. And then down below, more stuff for like the climate. We do have heated and cooled seats. Lincoln right there. And then storage space inside is pretty good. Got some USB ports, all that lined with felt. And then we have our drive mode select. We'll go over that in just a moment. Got a couple more cup holders, parking brake right here. And then center console. And glove box, pretty normal. Look at the leather trim on the dash. I love the wood trim. It's kind of like behind. It looks really cool. Also, this is shaped very interestingly. But anyways, drive mode select. So we've got some different drive modes. We have our slippery, deep conditions on one side, and then we have our went too fast normal, and then conserve, and then excite, and then preserve EV. So yeah, a few different drive modes we can go into, and as soon as I put it into preserve EV, it popped the engine right back on. Now up top here, we do have a sunglass holder, and then we have controls here for the panoramic sunroof, kind of like a normal luxury car thing, and that's off the top. So here's our window sticker. Now I do want to mention this is a pre-owned car with 3,600 miles on it. So this does not reflect current market pricing. Current market pricing is whatever it is on this, which I don't know what it is. Anyways, you guys can see all the information here, and then including like the range and all that stuff. And this is a 300A equipment group, if you're wondering, and then all the rest of the stuff. Now, you guys can see the total MSRP here, $57,620. And actually, since this window sticker has the attachment of the original addendum from another dealership that I don't film for, we're going to go over this because this is quite hilarious. This just shows you what dealerships will do. By the way, this is a Phil Long Lincoln. I don't know where that is, but nitrogen tire fill, $99. But the big thing is market adjustment, $4,000. So whoever originally bought this paid an extra $4,000 so that Mr. Phil Long could buy another boat, Lamborghini, whatever owner of that store wants to buy. Anyways, let's take this out and see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off here in this Corsair. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors do blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, I almost did this for the... Jeez, let's set off. Oh, setting off here in the Corsair. And right now I have it in the Preserve EV mode. I'm just going to have that for the first part. And then once we get our acceleration, We'll put it over into the Excite mode so that we can get the full power from this powertrain. Now this is pretty interesting to me. They have this setup here on the Corsair. And I'm not saying the hybrid, but more specifically the transmission setup that they have with this, doing a CVT, because Ford has other vehicles that are hybrids like this, like the Explorer, for example. And I know this is a Lincoln, but you know, same company, that uses regular transmission, doesn't use a CVT. So I think that's kind of interesting, and I guess we'll have to see kind of how it does the driving dynamics. Seat comfort's great. I can comment on that. That is really solid, absolutely top notch. Did we finally get a break in the traffic? Yes, we did. Whoa, it spun the wheels a little bit there. I like just barely got on it and it was like skirt. So I guess it has some good power off the line. Now I can hear the CVT noises, but it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't have that normal CVT feel, I guess, from a driving perspective, at least from what I'm feeling so far. And yeah, braking feels pretty normal. Handling's great. It's quick, that's for sure. Has this like lightweight, zippy feel to it. I like how this drives actually, it's really good. I'm usually pretty cynical when it comes to CVTs, but they did a good job on this. Are we gonna make it for the light? That'd be cool. So I'm gonna pop into the Excite mode here. So this is like our sporty driving mode. And now it's not gonna be preserving the battery anymore. It says we have 98% energy returned. That's actually pretty cool. So we are in the Excite mode. Oh my goodness. Lots of tire squealing. Lots of tire squealing. That's what happens when you just throw some electric motors on a vehicle that was, you know, typically intended for a gas engine, because it just, the tires and the whole setup just can't handle all that power at once. That is funny. We gotta get another one of those. This thing is absolutely hilarious to drive. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. I don't know why, like, okay, I'm gonna do this in the straight line, so no turning. We're gonna see if it still does it. Okay, no, so it, I guess just going around a corner a little bit, it kind of, I'm not like driving like a maniac or anything like that. I'm driving pretty normal, I feel like. But yeah, this thing's quick. Gets the tires chirping a little bit. I also forgot to mention the voice command button here on the steering wheel at the top where my thumb is. I forgot about that. Okay, never mind. From a standstill, it's always gonna like squeal the tires if you're in Excite mode and if you get into the throttle a little bit. So unless you're like driving this like a granny, it's gonna squeal the tires. But summing things up, I think this looks great. I think that the interior and exterior is great. The seats are comfortable. I like this package actually, and I mean, you can't, like, the fuel economy with this is amazing. But I'm assuming whoever owned this before they traded in probably did a lot of charging with this, so you can get that fuel economy rating, because obviously with just a gas engine, the EPA rating is 33 miles per gallon, not 60 something. But that's the cool thing about plug-in hybrids. I really think that plug-in hybrids are the future, because, you know, full electric, it's just a much harder pill to swallow than this, because this, you can get the benefit of getting really good fuel economy or not using gas at all for short trips. And then if you go on a long trip, you don't have to worry about having to charge all the time and worry if, you know, chargers are open and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, overall, I think they did a great job with this. I will say though, it's not worth the $4,000 Phil Long market adjustments boat, whatever you call it, boat fund. But hey, like I said, since I don't film for them, I gotta make for them for charging $100 for nitrogen filled tires. Oh my goodness. Anyways, that's gonna sum things up with this Corsair Grand Touring. Let me know what you guys think about this package overall. And no, this is not at Phil Long, it's at the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln in Provo. That's all. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Lincoln Corsair. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah for giving me some time with this Corsair. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see ya.